Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao have reignited their legendary rivalry after a fiery encounter at an airport, almost 8 years after their historic fight of the century in 2015. Unlike their first meeting, which was marked by mutual respect and coolness, this recent clash was much more heated. Talks of a possible rematch between the two boxing legends have circulated for years, but when Pacquiao approached Mayweather in good spirits to discuss the idea, Floyd wasn't having it. His frustration was clear, sparked by the way Manny had responded to the rematch talk. Mayweather reminded everyone that he fought Manny when the money was right, joking that if $300 million wasn't the right time, then when was? The tension between the two legends escalated quickly but didn't boil over into anything more serious. Both men, now well into their 40s, exchanged a few words and then went their separate ways. Despite the short-lived confrontation, it was clear that the fire between them hadn't completely burned out. Pacquiao has long craved a second shot at Mayweather after their first bout, even though many felt the initial fight came too late. Mayweather secured a unanimous decision win that night, adding another layer to his undefeated 50-0 record before retiring in 2017. Pacquiao, on the other hand, continued to fight until 2021, but he's never quite let go of the idea of a rematch. Pacquiao remains interested, but with one condition: if he fights Floyd again, he wants it to be an actual contest with judges and a declared winner, not a typical exhibition that ends in a draw. Floyd, however, seems less interested in making it a competitive fight. Speaking about their historic rivalry, Mayweather called Pacquiao a great fighter and a Hall of Famer, but maintained that nobody has ever found the remedy to beat Floyd Mayweather. Recently, Rizin promoter Nobuyuki Sakakibara mentioned that although Floyd still maintains a good relationship with the Japanese promotion, he's shown no real interest in returning for a competitive rematch. Pacquiao, however, is still eager. According to Sakakibara, if everything aligns perfectly, there's still a chance the rematch could happen. Pacquiao is currently tied to Rizin, and Floyd previously fought exhibitions under the promotion's banner, knocking out 2 opponents. Despite being officially retired, both Mayweather and Pacquiao have remained active in exhibitions. Pacquiao even recently stepped back into the ring against Japanese kickboxing champion Rukia Ampo. Although the match ended in a draw, it exposed just how much age has caught up to Pacquiao. The Filipino legend struggled to deal with Ampo's height and reach, often getting picked off throughout the 3-round bout. Fans on social media were brutal in their assessment, with many begging Pacquiao to reconsider a professional comeback after seeing how much he had slowed down. In the first round against Ampo, Pacquiao came out aggressively, trying to impose himself, but quickly found himself eating stiff jabs and uppercuts. His attempts to cut off the ring were thwarted as Ampo used his reach advantage effectively. Pacquiao's brief success early in the second round with a flurry of punches was quickly erased as Ampo adjusted and continued to tag the boxing legend with ease. In the final round, Ampo even wobbled Pacquiao with a solid left hand, forcing the future Hall of Famer to hold on and survive until the end. Although both fighters' hands were raised, everyone knew Pacquiao had been outclassed. His struggles in the exhibition have severely dampened hopes for a WBC welterweight title fight against Mario Barrios, a fight that was rumored if Pacquiao impressed in his comeback. WBC President Mauricio Suleiman previously backed the idea, provided Pacquiao could pass medical checks, but after the exhibition, fans and experts alike are questioning whether it's wise, or even safe, for Pacquiao to continue chasing another world title. Despite the disappointment, Pacquiao's advisor Sean Gibbons remains optimistic, revealing that Pacquiao still has the competitive fire and loves proving people wrong. Gibbons stressed that if a fight against Barrios is to happen, it must be arranged soon, ideally before December, because Pacquiao might once again run for political office next year in the Philippines. Still, with the backlash from his performance against Ampo, it remains to be seen whether there will be enough demand, or common sense, to move forward with the plan. Meanwhile, Floyd Mayweather continues to dominate the exhibition circuit, having fought John Gotti III in a chaotic bout that ended in an all-out brawl between both camps. A rematch with Gotti was more peaceful but still carried the usual circus atmosphere that Floyd's post-retirement exhibitions have become known for. Despite the theatrics, Floyd remains undefeated in any serious competition, and he sees exhibitions as just another way to stay active and keep cashing big checks without putting his perfect record on the line. Mayweather's philosophy toward exhibitions and boxing remains clear. He sees no need to put himself at real risk anymore. He's built an empire based on undefeated excellence, and at this point, he's more interested in preserving that legacy than risking it for pride. From his perspective, if Pacquiao wants a real fight, He's welcome to try, but Floyd's not going to be lured into something he doesn't control. During an interview, Mayweather reflected on his career, pointing out that he beat more Hall of Famers than anyone else in the sport's history. He spoke about how he fought whoever God intended him to fight, subtly pushing back against critics who claimed he ducked opponents like Antonio Margarito. For Floyd, his resume speaks for itself. As for Pacquiao, he continues to flirt with different comeback options. Apart from Barrios, there's been speculation about matchups against younger fighters like Ryan Garcia and Gervonta "Tank" Davis. Pacquiao previously stated his interest in fighting either of them, especially Tank Davis, who just recently knocked out Garcia in 2023. Tank is scheduled to fight Lamont Roach next, and depending on that outcome, there could be new developments regarding Pacquiao's return. Still, fans are understandably skeptical after seeing Pacquiao's performance against Ampo. He looked every bit his 45 years of age and struggled to land meaningful punches against a relatively inexperienced opponent. Although he remains a beloved figure in the sport, boxing is unforgiving, and the reality is that time is undefeated. Despite the concerns, Pacquiao doesn't seem ready to hang up the gloves for good. There's a sense of unfinished business in his demeanor, a desire to either close the chapter on his terms or add one final glorious achievement to an already unmatched legacy as boxing's only 8-division champion. His team continues to push for opportunities, and Pacquiao himself insists he still has something left in the tank, even if his body says otherwise. Meanwhile, Floyd remains unbothered, focusing on his exhibitions and business ventures. He acknowledges Pacquiao's greatness but doesn't see a need to revisit the past in any serious way. For him, their story ended the night of May 2, 2015, when he decisively beat Pacquiao in front of the whole world and cemented his status as one of the greatest to ever step inside the ring. As things stand, a potential Mayweather vs. Pacquiao rematch remains a tantalizing possibility but still hinges on a lot of factors: timing, money, health, and demand. Rizin remains in the background, willing to host the fight if it makes business sense, but even they admit it would require everything lining up perfectly. With both fighters aging and fan interest possibly dwindling after Pacquiao's recent showing, the clock is ticking fast. For fans of boxing, the prospect of seeing these two legends share the ring again, even in an exhibition, carries undeniable nostalgia. But as much as the heart wants to see them rekindle their rivalry, the reality of their current conditions paints a more complicated picture. Manny Pacquiao still dreams of glory, while Floyd Mayweather has nothing left to prove. Whether their paths will cross again in a meaningful way remains to be seen, but one thing is certain: the story of Mayweather and Pacquiao isn't over just yet.